I've always been fascinated by belief systems. Belief pushes people to exceed their potential, especially when they tie their purpose to something greater. It gives them a mission, something to serve, salvation to seek, and a reward to anticipate. Welcome back to the Tales of Lost. It's finally time to reveal the cult I've been mentioning in so many videos. This group claimed they were cleansing people of their sins. But was that their only purpose? Were they truly as innocent as they seemed, striving only to create a better world? If you think the answer is yes, think again. Serving one creator and being good to their creation sounds noble, even comforting. But when humans taste the potential of being as powerful as the creator they worship, corruption takes place. And that's exactly what happened to the cult. Before we dive into how this religion started, let's talk about their initial designs. When I started designing this cult, I began by imagining what a typical religious figure might wear in this world. My first concepts were simple: robes, hoods, and ornaments you'd expect from a traditional depictions of clerics. But something was missing. The designs didn't fully capture the essence of their beliefs or the symbolism of their gods. From the very beginning, I envisioned three holy beings as central figures in their faith. Their story, which I'll share later, became the foundation of the cult's symbols. In the final design, I incorporated portraits of the mother and the father on the back of their attire, arranged like a chess cage. Their arms extended forward, holding a plate that represented the soul of their lost daughter. These elements have the outfit's irreverent quality, perfectly suited to the cult's themes of sacrifice, hope, and loss. I wanted the cult's visual design to reflect their story, one of hope twisted into despair, faith corrupted by power. That's why their attire includes such striking symbols like the portraits of the mother and the father and the soul plate representing their child who died right after the birth. These details weren't just for aesthetics, they were meant to convey the weight of their beliefs and sacrifices that defined their faith. The reason for the name of the cult of the old gods in these three holy beings related by different gods they used to believe in the old world. Now, let's start with their story. A catastrophic event brought the humanity to the brink of an extinction. I won't spoil the details since it ties into this world's magic system, but imagine a disaster so massive that it erased nearly everything. Cities destroyed, natural resources almost vanished, and humanity was left holding onto to survival. The survivors who remained were scared. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Diseases, mutations, and corruption had ravaged their lives. Women became infertile, and this already small population faced extinction. The gods they had once worshipped were silent in their suffering, leaving them to wonder if divinity had abandoned them entirely. Faith shattered, hope seemed lost. But in this dark and desperate world, a miracle happened. A woman became pregnant. This tiny spark of hope reignited the flame on their hearts. Word of this miracle spread, drawing people from every corner of the old world. They hailed the parents, Alain and Gab, as saints and named the unborn child Yunwen. The community celebrated daily, writing songs, stories, and gathering to seek the mother's blessings. For these people, Yunwen became a symbol of rebirth, a promise of salvation. They believed this child's arrival was the answer of their prayers, a sign that life could return to their desolate world. The villagers rebuilt a settlement, determined to create a safe haven for the child's birth. They constructed shrines, adorned the mother with offerings, and prepared a sanctuary for this miracle baby. Finally, the day of Yunwen's birth arrived. Outside the family's home, the entire community waited in hushed anticipation. It was as if time itself had stopped. But tragedy struck. The baby girl was stillborn. The mother died in childbirth, and the father, consumed by grief, took his own life right after. The sun disappeared again for these people, but this family's loss inspired them to keep going. The villagers turned their home into a sanctuary, preserving the family's bodies and believing the girl's soul would heal women and restore fertility. The sanctuary became the sacred site, and the family was immortalized as divine figures. Elderly women, the remaining matriarchs of the community, took on leadership roles. They became mentors, teaching young women and crafting makeshift medicines to reignite the hope of bearing children. At first, this belief system seemed like a blessing. It gave the survivors purpose and unity. They clung to hope that Yunwen's spirit would guide them towards salvation. But as with many belief systems, the purity of their intentions didn't last. Over time, the structure of their faith became rigid, even oppressive. The Council of Elder Women, originally mentors, took control of every aspect of the religion. They dictated what was acceptable, who could lead, and how the community should live. Men were relegated to roles in diplomacy and missionary work, while young girls partly became prisoners of the cult. They were forbidden from making decisions without the council's approval, and were seen more as vessels for the cult's survival than as individuals. The corruption ran deep. The council used fear and devotion to maintain control, and any dissent was silenced. What began as a source of hope became a system of control where individuals were stripped of agency in the name of the faith. There is so much more to uncover. The lives of the girls, knights of the cults, and the twisted rituals they emerged over time. But that's a story of next video. Also, if you like to see the very first sketch of these knights, you can check out on my Patreon page. I share artworks on sketches I haven't shared anywhere. You can find the link in the description. I think this is a good point to stop now. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one.